Corruption doesn't just hurt governments, it impacts everyday citizens, economies, and global stability. In 2025, some countries continue to rank among the most corrupt in the world, plagued by bribery, weak institutions, abuse of power, and lack of accountability. In this video, we're counting down the 10 most corrupt countries on Earth, based on global corruption indexes, international watchdogs, and real-world impact. The country at the 1st of May shock you. 10. Haiti, a state undermined by corruption. Despite billions in international aid, Haiti remains one of the poorest and most corrupt nations in the Western Hemisphere. Corruption permeates law enforcement, the judiciary, and public services, while political instability and gang influence further weaken accountability and public trust. Public contracts are often awarded without transparency, and aid money frequently disappears before reaching those in need. The result is a paralyzed government, unreliable services, and widespread poverty that fuels more corruption. 9. Libya. Lawlessness fuels corruption. Since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi, Libya has become a fractured state, where rival factions control different regions. Warlords, militias, and corrupt politicians divert state funds for personal gain, while ordinary citizens struggle with lack of governance, security, and public services. Oil revenues are often stolen or misused, and foreign aid is lost to mismanagement and bribery. With no unified government or legal system, corruption thrives unchecked. 8. Afghanistan. Deep-rooted corruption in every sector. Corruption in Afghanistan affects nearly every level of society, from government contracts to local law enforcement. Billions in international funds have disappeared due to fraud, nepotism, and bribery, weakening the country's institutions and fueling public resentment. Citizens often pay bribes for basic services, and political appointments are frequently based on favoritism, not merit, creating a cycle of incompetence and exploitation. 7. North Korea. Absolute power breeds absolute corruption. In North Korea, corruption is a way of survival. Bribery is common in education, healthcare, and employment, while the ruling elite control wealth and resources through a secretive and oppressive regime. The absence of media freedom and independent oversight makes corruption almost invisible to the outside world. Ordinary citizens pay bribes just to avoid punishment or access food, while the regime profits from illicit global trade. 6. Yemen. Conflict-driven collapse of accountability. Civil war has destroyed Yemen's institutions, leaving a power vacuum filled with warlords and corrupt officials. Public servants often go unpaid, and humanitarian aid is frequently diverted or stolen. With a shattered legal system, there is almost no way to fight corruption. Smuggling networks and black market trade dominate the economy, making corruption a survival mechanism in a country where formal governance has collapsed. 5. Syria. Corruption is state policy. In Syria, corruption is entrenched at the highest levels of government. Under Bashar al-Assad's regime, state contracts are awarded based on loyalty, not merit. The war economy thrives on smuggling, bribery, and exploitation. Citizens must pay bribes for everything, from safety to electricity. Public services are selectively offered to regime supporters, and international aid is weaponized or misappropriated. 4. Sudan. Political turmoil and widespread bribery. Years of internal conflict, military coups, and authoritarian rule have led to rampant corruption in Sudan. Government officials are frequently accused of embezzlement, and citizens often face bribes just to access basic services like healthcare and education. Transparency and justice remain almost non-existent. Military leaders and elites siphon public funds, and anti-corruption efforts are suppressed or co-opted. 3. South Sudan, a country built on graft. Since gaining independence in 2011, South Sudan has been riddled with corruption. Billions of dollars in oil revenue have gone missing, and political leaders are accused of enriching themselves while millions face famine and displacement. The lack of checks and balances has made graft a standard practice. With no functioning judiciary and weak institutions, impunity reigns. 2. Venezuela, collapse fueled by corruption. Once one of Latin America's richest countries, Venezuela's economic collapse is tied to massive corruption within its socialist government. Oil revenues were siphoned off, and officials live lavishly while the population suffers from poverty, inflation, and scarcity. Bribery and favoritism dominate every sector. Food, medicine, and government benefits are often reserved for regime loyalists, while dissenters face extortion and exclusion. 1. Somalia, the world's most corrupt country. Somalia tops the list as the most corrupt country on earth in 2025. With no stable central government, lawlessness, and ongoing conflict, corruption touches every aspect of life. Public resources are exploited by warlords, pirates, and corrupt officials. There is no rule of law, no transparency, and little hope for reform. International aid is routinely diverted, and citizens must pay bribes even for protection or emergency services. The lack of any real governance makes Somalia a textbook example of state failure through corruption. These 10 countries show how corruption can cripple entire nations, undermining economies, threatening peace, and punishing the people who need help the most. Which of these countries surprised you the most? Do you think corruption can ever be eliminated? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more revealing global reports.